Hey, geeks and gamers. Whoa, no, don't adjust your TV sets or your phone sets or your computer monitor sets or whatever sets you're using to watch this amazing video. I'm Spencer. I'm from RPG Archive. I'm stepping in for Alex today. He asked if I could be the first guest host of the My Shitty Old Reviews video series. So I get to be a host for it. I mean, I'm only going to be here for as long as you can hear my voice right now. But that's not bad. This is volume 7 of his shitty old reviews. And wow, there's so many shitty old reviews. So that's pretty cool. Congratulations, Alex. You made a lot of shitty old reviews. For those that don't know, these are reviews on Frickin' Frack films from way back in the day. I got some from like around the ones that I'm going to show are around 2014. That's how old they are. Sorry, I'm getting over a little sickness. And the show was called like Super Hyper Turbo Gamers. Makes you wonder where the name came from. Anyway. So really cool that we get to look back at the history of everything Alex has done and how he's progressed, digressed. I don't know, some of these are pretty good. I don't know. But make sure that you take a moment, enjoy it. There's a lot of cool games. There's a lot of games I was like, oh yeah, I remember that was a big deal when it came out, and then I completely forgot about it. But yeah, it's cool to see some of these, and then some classic reviews as well. So really good stuff. I can't wait to show it to you. So sit back, relax, open a jar of honey, and eat that, and enjoy these. Enjoy Alex's shitty old reviews. Enjoy.
Super Hyper Turbo Gamers.
Hey geeks and gamers, welcome to my review of Sonic Heroes. Sonic Heroes is a really interesting game. This is the first Sonic game made for consoles that aren't Sega consoles. This game was made for PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, and it's kind of weird to think about, but this is the first 3D Sonic game that was made for non-Sega related consoles because Sega became a third-party publisher. And this is my first 3D Sonic game. I'm going to warn you, I'm a little biased when it comes to this game because it was my first 3D Sonic game, so it holds a special place in my heart. I'm not going to hold back and say that it's the best game ever or anything like that, but I am going to warn you that I'm not as hard on it as I probably should be because it was my first 3D Sonic game, and it means a lot to me, so... I mean, in fact, I even bought this game 3 times. When I was a kid, I first had this game on PS2. That copy broke after a while. Then I got it on GameCube, and that copy broke after a while. And now I have it on OG Xbox, and this copy works fine, so that's how I want to review it. If you don't know what Sonic Heroes is, it's a 3D Sonic game that came out after the Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 series on Dreamcast. It was meant to kind of extend it a bit, but not really be related. It was meant to be like a good place to enter the Sonic franchise. And I still think it is a good place to enter the Sonic franchise, but we'll talk about that later. But it was cool because, before this we had Adventure and Adventure 2, which are good games in their own right, but they had problems. And not saying this game doesn't have problems, no. But I'm saying that the Adventure games had problems when it comes to identity. You would love to play the sections with Shadow or the sections with Sonic and run really fast, but when it came to doing a section with Knuckles or a section with whoever else is in the game, it got kind of tedious because they'd always change up the gameplay style whenever all you'd want to do is run fast. Sonic Heroes tries to fix this. Sonic Heroes, instead of playing as one single character like you would in the adventure games, you're playing as a team. There's 4 teams in the game, so instead of playing as, say, Sonic, you're playing as Team Sonic, which consists of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. And then there's Team Dark, consisting of, Shadow, Rouge, and Omega. There's Team Rose, consisting of Amy, Cream, and Big. And there's Team Chaotix, consisting of, SPO, Vector, and Charmy. So you're playing as 4 teams of 3 characters. And that might not make sense to you right now. Especially if you haven't played the game, that might not make any sense how I'm pitching it. But let me explain. Each level, instead of having different gameplay styles like in the adventure games, each level is set up like a speed action stage from the adventure games, where you just run fast and you platform. And that sounds great. And what makes it so cool is that it's such a unique idea because you play as 3 characters at the same time, switching between them. Each team has a speed character like Sonic, who is made for the fast-paced platforming. You have a power character like Knuckles, who's made for fighting and bashing the bad guys. And then there's the flight character like Tails, who's made for really high, really precise platforming. That dynamic of switching between each character adds a certain element that the adventure games were missing, in my opinion. And it makes for something a little more mainstream and a little more fun to play through. Not saying this game doesn't have problems. I'm just saying I like the whole idea. I like the concept of Sonic Heroes. The story is pretty simple. It's Eggman's doing evil stuff. Go stop him. That's pretty much it. Each team has their own motivations, but when it boils down to it, you're going through each level and stopping Eggman and getting to the end of the game. I like this approach because the games prior to this, Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, were really narrative heavy, and they had a lot to do with monsters and big evil forces and whatnot, and it was alright, but I don't think it has a lot of place in a Sonic game, to be honest. And I like Sonic games to have a little bit more of a simple plot, more akin to the classic Genesis days, whenever the plot was literally stop Eggman. Now, after saying all this good stuff about the game, there's flaws in Sonic Heroes. I think the most obvious flaw is, even though there's 4 teams, and even though they're all doing the same kind of platforming, they don't have different levels. Each team goes through the exact same set of levels in the exact same order, kind of doing the exact same thing. The only difference is that, like, Sonic's more speed focused, the Team Dark is more difficulty focused, Team Rose is really for beginners, and Team Chaotix is more like mission focused, where they gotta collect certain things and find certain things. That's really the only difference. Other than that, the levels repeat themselves. So in order to beat this game, you have to play the same levels 4 times. That could be a big problem for you if you want to beat this game. I do wish they would have, had different levels for each team. That would have made a unique game that would have held up a lot better. The other problems is that the control isn't the best in the world. I'm gonna be honest. The voice acting kind of cheesy, and the game itself is the levels can get kind of lengthy. And these are all problems that the game has. I didn't say I was gonna bash this game completely, but I didn't say I was gonna praise it either. The game has problems that are really hard to avoid. And even putting on my big pair of like nostalgia goggles, I still see these problems, and I still said they could have easily fixed these in development. But outside of that, I don't think the game is really that bad. Like, I don't think Sonic Heroes is really as bad as some people say. Some people say that this was the start of the Dark Age of Sonic. And I can kind of see that, but I see more of like Shadow the Hedgehog being the start of the Dark Age. I think Heroes was at a weird middle ground, because it's definitely not as good as the adventure titles, but it's nowhere near as bad as, say, Shadow or 06. Sonic Heroes lands in this weird spot for me that I think it holds up on its own right, but I think comparing it to the adventure games makes it look bad. So, you know, if you like 3D Sonic games, maybe try this one. Maybe give Sonic Heroes a try. But if you don't like the idea of, you know, of like 3-person weird platforming, and if you don't like the idea of having to play the same levels 4 times and whatnot, I would say, you know, go ahead and avoid it. It's really up to you. I can't really give you, I don't know, I can't really tell you like what to do on this one, because it's such a jarring game to me. I mean, I really like it. Like, I remember it fondly, but I understand this game has problems. So this is a really hard review to do. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, even writing this down, even when I was writing this whole video, it's super difficult to even get points across, because I'm very biased here. But, I mean, the game is fun. It has great presentation, great music. I think it's a good, colorful, fun Sonic platformer, for the most part. It does have problems, like I've been saying multiple times, but I think it could be a fun time if you want to sit down and play it. Give it a go, give it a try, and respect that it's in this weird middle ground, you know, kind of before Sonic games went to crap, but after they were really good. It's a weird spot that it's in. It's like a weird nirvana. I do wish they would bring back the Sonic Heroes formula. Maybe not do a Sonic Heroes 2 per se, but try something similar. Because this formula has a lot of potential. Like, the gameplay itself isn't the bad part. It's everything around the gameplay that, you know, it's kind of like the, you know, like the levels and whatnot. That's kind of the bad part, is, you know, having to do the same thing, you know, over and over again, having to do this and having to do that. The gameplay itself isn't the bad part of the game. So I wish they would try this again, but with a new take, and give it a new go. Well, that, Geeks and Gamers, was my incredibly confusing review on Sonic Heroes. I hope you enjoyed it. I've tried many times to review this, record this audio. Tried over and over, but it's just impossible. I thought it was going to be an easy review to do, but I can't get my point across without sounding redundant. But that was it, Geeks and Gamers, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
Oh my gosh. Smash Bros. Is out. Can you believe this? Smash Bros. For Wii U is out. And I'm going to bring you my thoughts in this glorious review of Smash Bros. I seriously have not been this excited for a game, or for anything, in quite a long time. Smash Bros. Is probably one of the best game series of all time. Especially if you're into, you know, competitive fighting party style games. It's really, really something special. Nintendo fans, you know, rejoice. And if you don't know what Smash Bros. Is, have you been in a cave? It's only one of the biggest franchises ever. You know, we usually get one per Nintendo console. And it's all the, you know, like Nintendo stars coming together and beating the crap out of each other, and it's fantastic. This is Smash Bros. For Wii U. Now, there is Smash Bros. For 3DS. There's Wii U and 3DS. I have both versions, but I have no way to capture footage off of my 3DS except for to just stick a camera in front of it, and I'm not going to do that. So, you know, for my quick thoughts of the 3DS version, I got the 3DS version, a little while ago, because it was, you know, it was released before this version. So I played it and I thought it was awesome. But then I got the Wii U version Friday. I'm recording this on Monday. I got the game Friday for Wii U, and I tell you what, this might just be the best Smash Bros. We've ever had. It is so fantastic. What they've added to this game is amazing. Like, for one, the roster is great. Do I have any complaints with the roster? Not really complaints. They've explained why they cut some characters, like the Ice Climbers. They explained that they couldn't have the Ice Climbers because the Ice Climbers, somehow they didn't work on the 3DS version, and that's kind of sad because I really like Ice Climbers, but we get some other cool characters, so it sucks to see him go, whatever. And also I'm kind of sad to see Solid Snake go. We did get other awesome characters that I like more, like Mega Man and Pac-Man. But Solid Snake was still a cool character in Brawl, but Sonic still came back, so that's awesome. And then the roster overall just feels a lot, I don't know, it feels a lot more embracive of newer and older aspects of Nintendo history. It feels more willing to experiment with weird characters and with really samey characters, and I liked it a lot. I like the fact that that they brought back Dr. Mario, and they brought back a few of the characters that you didn't really expect them to do. But then I like the fact that they added characters like Duck Hunt, and they added characters like Bowser Jr. Now they did say that they're going to come out with DLC. The first DLC character is going to be Mewtwo, and since I have both versions, I'm going to get it for free. But I have some advice for if they come out with more character DLC past that. Here's a few characters I'd really like to see in this game and have DLC for. Rayman is one. Rayman. Professor Layton, I think, would be a cool character. And also Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. That one's really like my dream character for Smash, but I don't see it happening, but I have to mention it because I really like Travis Touchdown, and I wish he'd make a Smash Bros. Roster. But let's talk about more than the characters. The stages are really awesome and varied. They add some really awesome stages, and they bring back some really cool stages. I'm happy to see that my favorite stage, Castle Siege from Brawl, is still here, and it's still awesome. It's still here, and it's still queer. It's amazing. And there's all kinds of different modes. You have Classic Mode, All-Star Mode, you have, the Smash Tour, which is like a board game, and you have the event missions mode, and you have the stadium with all the different events in the stadium, and all this, the master orders and crazy orders and all this awesome stuff. This game is jam-packed full of content. It's just full of stuff to do. Collect the trophies, beat all the challenges, do this, do that. My only two complaints with the modes, we have like a bomb target mode thing that it's all right, but I really miss break the targets from the other games. I thought break the target, break the target stuff was really fun, and I guess I was spoiled by Brawl because I really wish this game had some kind of an adventure subspace type mode like Brawl had, because Subspace Emissary and Brawl was just fantastic, and I don't know, I kind of wish they would have done that again. I could forgive them for not, we get, enough new stuff in here to really make it worth playing. But I do wish they would have brought Subspace, Emissary back and really, I don't know, gave us another Nintendo-themed, I guess, story to go along with the Smash Bros. Game, because that really made it feel like, even though it played kind of like a Kirby game, it made it feel, I don't know, grand. So I kind of missed that. But everything else in the game is really, really freaking awesome, and it makes up for those few little things that I wish, could have came back. We can't have everything, sadly enough. And, there's also now you can have up to 8 players play, but only on certain stages. You can't have 8 players play on a small stage. They have certain stages for, I think it's 5 through 8 players. 1 through 4 players can play on any stage. And this game's a great multiplayer game. I know me and Damon have already played, like just a little bit of it, and we're probably going to play some more later on. I'm gonna say this, Damon kicks my butt. I'm not the greatest Smash Bros. Player, but I have a ton of fun playing it. This game is fantastic. I mean, you can I don't know. There's just so much to this game. It's impossible for me to kind of cover it all with this style of reviewing that I do. With this commentary style, there's a lot to cover. You can customize Mii's. I have a total of 3 Mii fighters that I customize and I make my own, and they're really fun to use. And you can customize your main fighters and add special moves to them and change them around however you want them. That's awesome. You can buy the little amiibo figures. If you don't know what amiibo figures are, the amiibo figures are like Skylanders figures almost that just came out, and they work on multiple games, but I think that they're mainly meant for Smash. I haven't bought any yet, and I don't know. I might buy some later on, down the road. But they're a cool addition you can use in this game, and I don't know. Just this game is just a big love letter, and if you're a Smash fan, it's great. They did improve a lot. They've took out tripping. So Brawl had tripping. No one knows why Brawl had tripping. It was the dumbest thing, but they took tripping out, so no more tripping. And I don't know, it just feels a lot more tighter than Brawl. And I don't know, it feels about like what I would expect Melee to play like, but with more of a Brawl roster and a Brawl feel to it. And that's really awesome. There's tons of music to unlock, tons of music. You can build your own stages if you like doing that sort of thing. You can collect the trophies. This game is just jam-packed full of goodness, and I wholeheartedly recommend it. If you don't have a Wii U and you're still looking for a game for it, I've said this in the past, Super Mario 3D World, I said could be a game to get you to get a Wii U. Mario Kart 8, I said could be a game to get you to get a Wii U. This game is the game to own a Wii U for. Smash Bros. For Wii U does not disappoint in any aspect. Smash Bros. For Wii U is damn near perfect. I'll tell you that. This game, I'm still having so much fun just playing it and just having it. I don't know. It's just there's something about playing Smash that makes me feel like a little kid inside, because I'm just all these wonders and all this stuff to do, and it's just I see myself playing this forever. Whenever I first got Melee, I played it forever, and whenever I first got Brawl, I literally played it forever. I got Brawl on Christmas of 2008, and I think I'm still working on unlocking stuff in Brawl. That's how freaking big these Smash games are. Here's Smash Tour. Smash Tour is the only mode in the game that I'm not really into right now. I think I might have to spend more time with it and learn it. It feels a little out there. It feels like Mario Party Smash Bros, which sounds cool, but I just can't. I don't know. I have to play around with it a little more. It's it's not like a bad mode. It's just I'm not used to it yet. So sometime in the future, I'll definitely give it more a chance, and I'll definitely see what's behind it. But it's so far Smash Tour is my least favorite mode, but it's not bad though. It's not pretty. It's not bad. So like I said, if you're wondering, what the hubbub, is about this game, why there is so much hype, definitely get it. You can get it on 3DS too. The 3DS version is good. It is definitely a good game, and it has its own stages and modes. But I would definitely recommend the Wii U version over the 3DS version any day. It is a fantastic game. Getting it is essential to owning a Wii U, and if you get this version and the 3DS version, you get Mewtwo whenever Mewtwo comes out for DLC, and you get soundtracks, because I'm gonna right now I'm having soundtracks mailed to me, which is pretty awesome. And I don't really have much more to say. There's my overall thoughts. What do you expect coming into this review? Do you expect me to bash the game for any reason? The game's freaking awesome. It's Smash Bros. And while I do have other games I also want to be playing. Like I just got Lego Batman 3. This game I think is going to occupy a whole lot of my time for a whole while. It is definitely the best of its kind. It is something else. Smash Bros. for Wii U is just, it's a special game all around, and it's just amazing. So here's some of the trophies. The trophies look really cool, and they're really, really, really fun to collect. I really like collecting trophies in this game, or in all Smash Bros. Games. And this game just makes me smile. I love the inclusion of Pac-Man. Pac-Man is probably one of my favorite fighters now. Mega Man's alright. I tried Mega Man a little bit, and Mega Man was alright, but I don't know, Pac-Man just feels like a powerhouse to me. So does Little Mac. Little Mac is just a powerhouse. He'll beat the crap out of you. It's awesome. But that, Geeks and Gamers, was my review of Smash Bros. For Wii U. I hope you're satisfied with what I had to say. I really, really do enjoy this game a whole lot. It's probably one of the best games I've played in a while. And until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a good one.
Hey Geeks and Gamers, it's time to review the Conduit for the Wii. I remember back in like 2008, 2009, having my Wii, looking for a lot of cool Wii games, and this game was getting so much hype at the time, the Conduit. I didn't know much about it, but this game was developed by High Voltage Software and published by Sega. And it was trying to be like, sort of like the Wii's Halo, or the Wii's, what does PS3 have? Resistance, I guess, or Call of Duty, whatever. The Wii's big action, shooter. And it strives so hard, but does it work? Let's find out. The game is about a man named Mr. Ford. And Mr. Ford is caught up in some kind of weird alien conspiracy and government blood, yada yada yada. I mean, the plot really isn't that great to begin with. Some of the voice acting and the cheesy dialogue is awesome to listen to, and is really enjoyable. But overall, the story itself really isn't that great. There's two sides. There's Mr. Adams, which is side, and there's Prometheus, and you have to, I don't know, this. They try to win you over. I don't know. It's a weird plot. You follow one for a while, and then you follow the other side because you find out the one side's bad, and it's just that generic government alien plot that like every single thing like this has. So I don't really think it's that great. The game, on the other hand, is a really fun, fast-paced first-person shooter. Now, does it stand up to games like Halo? Does it stand up to games like Call of Duty? No. I'm naming the really popular ones because that's what they tried to do with this game. They tried to make it, that kind of shooter for the Wii. It is a rather awesome shooter, though. Instead of being like Call of Duty or Halo, it plays more like maybe like a better. A 90s shooter, I guess. I mean, it has some staples of modern shooters, but for the most part, it reminds me of a lot of old school shooters, just with motion controls. And the motion controls work really well. Pointing the gun feels very, very natural, and it really works for this type of game, and actually, I prefer it. I love shooting games on the Wii. There's not a lot of first-person shooters on the Wii, but the ones that I can find, I play. And this game, it just feels really nice. You use the Wiimote and chuck. You move with the chuck. You throw grenades with the chuck, and you use the B button on the Wiimote to shoot, and the A button to jump, and the D-pad to choose weapons and use your scope. It works really well. It's something that I feel they got down right with this game is definitely the controls. Now, I have played better shooters on the Wii. In fact, my favorite shooter on the Wii is GoldenEye 007 or 007 GoldenEye. You know, the GoldenEye remake. That's my favorite shooter on the Wii. But this game comes close, and so does its sequel, because the Conduit games are really underrated shooters in the Wii library, and games that I would love to see come back, you know, to the Wii U. Now this game, I can't really show it off because it's not going anymore, or I don't think it's going anymore. But the Conduit online service, the online multiplayer, used to be a lot of fun. I used to play it a lot when I first got this game, and it was a pretty fun online experience. We used to play deathmatch, team deathmatch, and it was, I don't know. I really, like, up to that point, I never really had a lot of online, FPS experience. So it was kind of cool, you know, getting to experience that, you know, firsthand with this game, you know, instead of experiencing it, you know, with like Call of Duty or whatever, Halo 2, you know. This was my first time ever playing a FPS game online, because this was my first console to go online. You know, I got a Wii before I even got an Xbox or a PS3, you know, in the years to follow. Now, like I said, this game doesn't stand up to the big, you know, franchises. It's not up to that quality, but it is a really great looking and great playing Wii game, and it's one that I would say definitely look for. I think it's pretty cheap by now. I mean, I found my copy for like, I think like $20, and like that was like the year it came out, like a few months later, because games like this for the Wii really go down in value because nobody really buys them, you know. And that's really a shame, because I mean, this game really is a really cool shooter. Now it's nowhere near the best shooter I've ever played. It's nowhere near the levels of like Red Faction or the levels of BioShock or Rage or Doom or even Black, which I've reviewed Black. You know, it's nowhere near the levels of those games. But if you like a good science fiction game, you know, government conspiracy, secret agents, aliens, you know, technology, whatever, those kind of games, and you have a Wii, I would definitely give it a shot. I would definitely give this game a shot. You use the little, I think it's called a ASE, the All-Seeing Eye, to unlock secret puzzles and find switches and find invisible mines and stuff. And it's a pretty integral part of the gameplay that I think works really, really well. I think the ASE was a really cool concept, especially for the Wii, because you have to point, you know, and do all that cool stuff. So I think the ASC is something that really, really works in this game, and something that if they ever do more Conduit games in the future, I wish they'd bring back. Now, like I said, this game has a sequel, Conduit 2 on the Wii, and Conduit 2 was a really good game also. One day I'll get to reviewing that one too, Conduit 2. I really like both of these FPS games by High Voltage, and I wish they would make a third one. I guess they'd make it for Wii U, and it'd be really, really neat to see this series return, you know, in HD, and maybe, you know, the third one could be like a stand-in for, you know, Halo, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, for the Wii U. That'd be a really cool idea, and something they could, you know, definitely try again. Now, this is a little off subject, but High Voltage also had a shooter that they were developing for the Wii called The Grinder. If you ever get a chance, look up footage of The Grinder. The Grinder ran on the same engine as Conduit, but it was it was a, not really horror, but it had like werewolves and vampires, and it felt like a grindhouse film. And it looked like a really promising game, but they've never followed up on it. So, and they've never talked about, what's happened to the game, thus far. But the grinder on the Wii by High Voltage definitely looked like something that could have been a great shooter also. So, like I said, a little off subject, but I just wanted to talk about that. Also, High Voltage, they made a Tournament of Legends for the Wii, which is a really, really cool, like one-on-one fighting game that you can find for like $3 on Amazon. So definitely give it a go, because High Voltage, even though they've made a bunch of kids games and like licensed games, they've made a few standout Wii titles. I would say that they made quite a few games that I've come to enjoy over the years. And the level design in this game, the level design isn't really the best thing in the world. The game's levels all are really look like just streets or like buildings, White House looking places, government buildings. They all look kind of the same. No level stands out in my brain, and that's I guess that's a downside. But when you're playing a shooter, I guess that doesn't really matter because you just want to shoot things, and it works. So, like I said, if you like this kind of game and this looks cool to you, pick it up. It definitely is a cool game. It's definitely a top shelf Wii game. But if if you're going into it expecting a Halo or Call of Duty, don't expect something more like like a Time Splitters. So, that, Geeks and Gamers, was my review of the Conduit. I'll see you guys in my next video. Hey Geeks and Gamers, welcome to my review of Pandoras Tower for the Wii. Now, Pandoras Tower was one of 3 games petitioned to come over from Japan. One of 3 RPGs. I think the petition was called Rainfall, if I recall that correctly. I wasn't a big part of it, but the 3 games they wanted to come over was, of course, Pandoras Tower, and then the 2 bigger ones, Xenoblade Chronicles and Last Story. Now, I haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles or Last Story, but Pandoras Tower was the one that looked interesting. And, the one that I eventually wanted to pick up, but truly, I never thought it'd be this good. And I'm going to go into great detail why this game is a pretty amazing game and why you should pick it up. Now, before I explain all about the game, I just want to say this is one of many awesome swan songs for the Wii. If this game would have come out towards the beginning of the Wii's lifespan, I think it would have really helped to launch the Wii, in a more popular direction. But Pandoras Tower, you play as a guy named Aaron. He's a girly-looking, Japanese RPG guy. And at first, everything looks kind of Final Fantasy-ish and whatnot. There's Aaron, that's you. There's the girl that he loves, Elena, and then there's this witch lady, Mavda, that's helping you guys out. And the plot is that Elena has some kind of curse. She's cursed, she has some markings on her back. The game explains in the greater detail as you play. That's one of the cool things, is that the story expands and expands the more you play. So, Elena's cursed, and cursed with what you say? Well, she's slowly turning into a monster. She's slowly turning into a beast. So you guys are running away from the military. You guys are hiding out in this observatory, and Elena is slowly turning into a monster. What are you to do? What are you gonna do? Well, whenever they first meet this witch Mavda, she tells Aaron the only way to save her is to climb the towers and the 13 towers and bring back monster flesh for Elena to eat. But not just any monster flesh. Normal monster flesh that you find in the tower will just hold her over, you know, it'll just help her out a little bit, make her feel a little better. But you have to find the masters of each tower. So the gameplay involves Aaron going through every tower and ascending them, and you know, finding, you know, the way to the master, you know, unlocking the master door and defeating this main boss that's, you know, up in each tower. So it has a very unique story and unique premise, because you have to go up and to kill these monsters to bring their flesh back to cure the one you love. So that alone is a pretty interesting premise, but it goes even further. You and Elena are sort of connected via this chain stuff. So you can see when she's slowly, you know, running out of time. So you have to do your best to get up through the tower. So that feels a little more like, say, Majora's Mask, you know, with the time limit. You're trying to do this and manage, you know, her health all at the same time. And not only that, is that you're trying to also keep her happy. So, you know, even though she's turning into this hideous monster, you try to give her gifts, and you try to talk to her, and you try to just keep her happy as you're, you know, fighting to get this curse lifted. And that's a really cool aspect of the story. And like I said, one of the other really cool aspects of the whole story is that as you play, the game kind of reveals more and more and more about the characters and more about the world, and it just expands to this very high degree, to where at first the story is very simple and you know, straightforward, but it keeps adding a little more and a little more, and it's really good storytelling. You know, most RPGs just hit you over the side of the head with, like, this is the kingdom, these are the this is that, you have to get the 16 stones of the curse, blah blah blah, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. The Final Fantasies, the Dragon Quests, you know, everything like that already have sprawling worlds. You know, you have to learn all that, you know, within just picking up the game. And I find that to be a, you know, to be a big put off sometimes. But this really expands as you play. So, you know, just turning it on, it's fairly simple. And then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's really good. Towards the latter part of the game, everything feels grand, and you know what's going on. So like I said, they're connected because Mavda connects them via Aaron's chain weapon that she gives him. So you know, the happier you make Elena and whatever, the stronger your connection is. Good. Let's talk about the gameplay. The gameplay, if I could describe it, it's a hack and slash, point and click adventure RPG. That sounds kind of strange, but it's just the control setup. What you do is you have the Wiimote and Chuck, okay, and you move around with your little stick, you know, with the little Chuck, and you push A to slash, and you use the pointer to point where you want your chain to go, and you push B to use your chain. And pretty much that's the whole thing. You push the C button to pull back on the chain whenever you need to. But other than that, it's a pretty simple setup that works surprisingly well, and it has a lot of cool. My phone. It has a lot of cool puzzles, you know, attached to it. And in each tower, there's these big master doors, and they're always blocked off by 1 or 2 or 3 chains. So you must climb the tower and find where to, you know, disable these chains, so you can get in there and you can, you know, cut up the main baddie of the castle, or you know, or tower, whatever, you know, and you can bring his flesh back to Elena. So, you know, as you're going along, the game gets tougher and tougher. The towers get trickier and trickier, and the game just overall gets more interesting as you go. So that's one big plus. That's one giant plus. Now, I'm trying to show a lot here. I'm not trying to show too much but I'm showing the good, at least most of the couple first towers and a little of the, I would say, 5th or 6th towers, you know, just to give you a little taste of what's going on here. So, you know, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to ruin any puzzles or any layouts. So enjoy watching me play Pandora's Tower, because this game is a joy to play. And like I said, this is one of the swan songs of the Wii. This wasn't even released by Nintendo. I think Nintendo did Xenoblade Chronicles and they did Last Story, but this wasn't even released by Nintendo. This was released by Xseed. So it's really cool to see something with this much detail and quality on, you know, for a swan song for, you know, the Wii. It's really great. And this game does have a lot of detail put into it. The structure and the art and everything else in the game looks very awesome. I know from like the outside view, you know, of the characters, it looks more, you know, like any other RPG. But once you get exploring these giant towers, you'll see that the game really is beautiful. That's one of the best parts of the game, is just exploring these sprawling towers. You know, the combat's alright. That's not the main focus. The main focus is making it through the towers. Even in the boss fights, you don't really use your sword to deliver your blows to the bosses. You use your chain. So the game isn't about the combat. No, the game isn't about combat. The game is totally about exploration. And that's one of its greatest factors. Does the game have any bad to it? Unfortunately, almost every game has bad. This game, towards the later part of the game, it does reuse some of the towers layouts, I guess. And I guess that would make sense in terms of like real life structure, but in a video game, you don't want to go through a new tower that looks kind of like an older tower, but with new stuff. You know, you don't really want to do that sometimes, but you know, that's not really that big a deal, because the game's still awesome and they still throw new things at you. So if you can get over the fact that they, you know, reuse some of the same structure and layouts later on, you're golden. Any other bad things I can think of? No. The game has a checkpoint system that works quite well. If you die right outside of if you die during a boss fight, it'll take you right outside the boss fight. That way you can just jump right back in and keep going. The game, you can save as your little observatory hub place. The game works pretty well on all the standard fronts, just like that. The chain works well. The pointing and pulling and flinging works really well in the game. So all the mechanics are there. Like I said, they just reuse some of the later parts, well, the earlier parts later on, and I find that to be a little lazy. But you know, maybe they're running out of time, or maybe they just thought it made sense for, you know, some of the towers to look alike since they're all kind of in the same area, you know. Because I guess some of the towers would look kind of the same. The only thing, and I haven't beat this game, okay? I have not beat this game. I am close to beating the game, but I have not beat this game. And the one thing I don't understand fully is why the witch lady Mavda is really helping you, because she just, you find her, well, they find her in this back alley after this big incident, and she's like, hey, I want to help you guys lift this curse, it's back. So she takes you to the towers, and she helps you out and gives you stuff, and I'm not entirely sure what her motive is. So that's something that I really want to find out. And me and Damon were talking, maybe we'll do this game on playtime sometime. Maybe we'll do playtime parties of Pandora's Tower. So yeah, you know, if this game would have come out maybe towards the beginning of the Wii's life, You know, maybe this could have been something that could totally show it off, you know, what the Wii's capable of. Maybe this would have been a great exclusive. I mean, it still is a great exclusive. It's not often that you see an action RPG on the Wii. Talking strictly action RPGs, other than this game, I have like 2 other action RPGs for Wii, and they're pretty good games, but this game blows them out of the water, but on all fronts. And I think I only gave like, I think it was like $20 for a GameStop for this game, because I know that GameStop, if you want Xenoblade Chronicles, they're going to overcharge you because they're dicks, and if you want Last Story, I think that's a pretty decent price. But this game, I don't know, it doesn't get that much attention, and this game I think I picked up for $20, brand new, and it was a great deal because I got my whole money's worth. This game is pretty awesome. Now, yes, this game could have been done on other consoles, I guess. Other than the pointer controls, it plays like a game that you would have saw on any other consoles. Yeah, so maybe this game could really use a re-release of some sort on an HD platform. Heck, maybe even the Wii U. That'd be really, really cool. Especially since the game is published by Axel and not Nintendo. They could totally, you know, redo it on a newer console and total HD and just, you know, kind of give this game a second shot to grow a bigger audience, maybe. Because I don't see this game having a sequel, and I don't want it to have a sequel. I think that would ruin it, honestly. So maybe they could re-release it sometime, maybe not. I don't know. So if this game looks cool to you, pick it up, play it on your Wii or your Wii U, and you know, just have a good time. Just have a great time exploring the towers and learning the story, and just, you know, Pandoras Tower. It's a great action RPG. So, you know, as a swan song, I think this game sends the Wii off with tons of love and respect and fully realized ideas. So, other than that, I'm all out of things to say. I'm all out of things to ramble about. You know, this is a commentary show. This is a vlog show. So whenever I have to talk about something like an action RPG, I got a lot of talking to do. And now I'm tired of talking. What's coming up next? I'm not sure yet. I have a few things in mind, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do coming up soon. So, one thing I didn't mention is that, of course, like every other RPG, you can find items like potions and stuff to craft weapons, and you can get new weapons. That's obvious stuff. I didn't really think I needed to say that. But other than that, geeks and gamers, there you go. That was Pandora's Tower. So like I said, if it looks good to you, pick it up. If you like these kind of games, pick it up. It feels kind of like Zelda or something mixed with the Shadow of the Colossus. It's a fantastic game. I'll see you guys in my next video. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5.
Seeming to
Yeah,
inhabit
100.
space beyond the normal world, the bristling turrets of the towers serve a purpose. They bind the earth together, preventing the scar from widening and tearing the world itself apart.
Hey everybody. Hey. It's Pokemon. It's Damon.
Pokemon.
It's Damon. We're gonna review Pokemon Stadium.
Yay.
Pokemon Stadium 2 review. Yeah. I think David and I did a review of the first one like forever ago, and Damon had the second one. So Damon, let me borrow it.
Yeah, I had it.
Well, Damon let me borrow this like months ago, like at least 5 or so months ago, and I just now got around to doing it. So that's kind of why Damon's here, because he knows stuff about this game too. It's, you know, it's his. You know, it's his game. He owns it. So yeah, so Pokemon Stadium 2 is pretty much very like similar to the first one, to where you have different battle modes. You can battle your Pokemon in arenas, and you have mini games, and you have things where you can play the Game Boy games on the on the console. So, and it's more like an expansion pack to the first one, with like gold and silver Pokemon than an actual sequel.
Yeah, I never actually played the first one. I just always had this, and it's just like, it just feels like its own game. Like, I never felt like, oh, I probably should have played the first one if I wanted to understand this, or this
No.
or something. It doesn't matter.
Well, see, everything that was on the first one is here, except for like they changed around some mini games. That's really it. I see. This one just adds like new mini games and like Generation 2. I see. It adds like Generation 2 Pokemon and like new mini games to the first one, pretty much. I mean, it's cool though. I mean, but if
I
you,
like it. I love the mini game.
oh yeah, they're a lot of fun. I show a lot of them at the end of the video. But I mean, you know, in my opinion, I mean, this one's awesome. But I mean, I had to borrow your copy. I don't really see myself going out of my way to get a copy of it, because I have the first one. And
Right. I just always had this copy. I don't even remember how I got it. It's just always been in my collection.
maybe you took it from somebody.
That doesn't sound good to me.
Ever just like have one of those games you like borrowed from somebody and then you just have it?
No.
No, no, I don't.
People don't do that.
Never. Right.
Right.
Okay, so here's Pokemon Stadium. I'm playing against the computer because I don't have friends.
I don't even like him.
Yeah, Damon doesn't even like me. Damon's just like he has a contract that says he has to make videos with me.
Yeah, I have to work with Alex. It's my fault.
Yeah, see, it's not his choice. But yeah. So I'm playing myself, but like this game's really fun to play with two people. Or can you play it with like 4 people too?
It's definitely better.
Like I know the mini games are 4-player, but can you do like team battles?
I don't know.
Because I thought that was a thing. I know that you can do
I
like,
feel like it probably is.
I know you can like do a thing with 2 people to where you guys take turns on the same team and battle a computer.
I like that.
Because the first one had that mode too. Mini games.
I love them.
This one you have to cut the log at the mark, and I'm bad at it, as you can see here.
I'm actually really good at that.
I'm not good at this one. I tried it first, and it was pretty bad at it, as you can see.
I've always been really good at that one. I don't know what it is.
This one reminds me of the one off Mario Party where you're on the balls.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it feels like Pokemon Mario Party, which is awesome.
Poke Party. That should be a thing by now.
Exactly.
This one's cool.
It's friendships, it's just the same way.
Yeah, I mean, this one has like a bunch of games. Like this one's probably my favorite, the one where you have to knock the ball in your goal. That one's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like that one.
I was really good at that one. This one's easy. With
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Yeah, that's like incredibly easy.
yeah, you just kind of lean back and forth.
You literally just have to look back and forth.
This one you got to count all of whatever they tell you. Like here, I was counting Slugmas.
Is that what they're doing? You gotta count.
Yeah, see,
all
I like
the
hit.
across.
Yeah, see, I like hit the button, and I'd count to 7. There you go.
Yeah, I thought it was that. You had to count.
This one I sucked at because I like take the little rolly guy around there. I like lost this one majorly. This one's fun too, with Mime. Yeah. What's his name?
Mr. Mime?
Oh, is it just Mr. Mime?
Then
I don't know. I always want to call him that, but I always think it's wrong. I don't know.
I think that's actually it.
I don't know. But there you go. That was our review of Pokemon Stadium 2. If you like the first one, you'll like it. But if you have the first one, I don't really think you need to go out of your way to get it unless you're like a Pokemon, big collector guy and stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I never played the first one, but the second one, it's a hell of a lot of fun.
And if you don't have the first one, you should probably just pick up the second one instead.
That makes sense. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Don't they have a Wii one also? They have like a Battle Revolution.
Do they?
Yeah, Pokemon Battle
yeah.
Revolution.
No, yeah. Huh.
I haven't played it.
No, that.
I haven't played that one, but you can, like, on the Wii one, you can, like, link your DS and stuff and put your Pokemon from Pearl and Diamond on there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but there you go. That was a review.
Woo.
Yay! Oh, that was fun. Damon, any last words before we go?
Why you always put me on the spot like that?
Damon, do you want to say anything to these people on the internet?
You don't watch so much porn?
There you go. Bye. Hey geeks and gamers, welcome to my review of Parasite Eve 2 for the PS1. When it comes to sequels, they don't have to follow the format of the original, in my opinion. Too many games play it safe nowadays, and the sequels are straight up updates of the original style and gameplay, and sometimes even story. But examples of sequels that really changed the way that the game works and were good there's a handful. There's Zelda 2. There's like Dragon Age 2. Some could even argue there's BioShock 2. And those are all still great sequels. And whenever you change the way a game works, you want to make sure that it works in a way that's still cohesive and fun, and still lets players of the first game enjoy it. This game did it wrong. Parasite Eve 2 strives to be more like Resident Evil or Silent Hill or Dino Crisis, any of those horror games that we saw on PS2 and PS1 and stuff before. It borrows the same kind of tank controls from Resident Evil, so it's not a turn-based RPG anymore. It's just a normal survival horror game, and I think that's really disappointing, because the first Parasite Eve, the whole RPG turn-based side of the game was very original to me. I thought it was a very awesome idea, and I thought it worked in a way that let both horror fans and RPG fans get the game they want. This game doesn't cater to the RPG crowd as much. This one's supposed to trying to be straight up horror, and it's lacking because of it. This game did keep some of the leveling up and the item stuff, and it kept a few of the RPG stuff in there, but it tries to disguise this by calling it an action RPG, when in fact it's, as you can see here, it's just a horror game, like Resident Evil and whatnot. Just sometimes you get to use magic powers and whatnot. See? Tank controls, which I hate tank controls, and guns, and backing away while you shoot, and all that Resident Evil-ish stuff. The rendered areas around you even look Resident Evil in this game. In the first one, they were more original. They were like theaters and sewers and stuff, and this one it just looks like buildings and areas I would discover in Resident Evil. And like I said, that's very disappointing, because I quite enjoyed the first Parasite Eve. I really did. And this game, it has a lack of music. I haven't even touched on the story yet. The story is kind of bland. It's just about Aya again, and after what happened in the first game, she formed this group that takes out these parasites. Sounds Resident Evil-like to me. And she, in this one, she has to go investigate a building, and bad things happen. Like in Resident Evil, it's pretty copy and paste Resident Evil game right here, and I don't really care for this one. This one doesn't try to do anything very original. It tries to be more like other horror games, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I do have this downloaded on PS3, so you can do that if this looks like something you are into, because it doesn't play bad. It doesn't play horribly. If you like Resident Evil old style horror games from PS1 era, you'll like how this game plays. It controls and plays like those games. It's just, if you were a huge fan of the first Parasite Eve, I wouldn't even bother with this. I would maybe check it out if you really feel like it, but it's really nothing special. It's really not that great. That's it. That's Parasite Eve 2. I give it a rating of thumbs down. I'm not really digging this one. I mean, it does have some the horror aspects there, and that's good for a horror game, but it doesn't have any of the Parasite Eve aspects. And there is a third game on PSP that I don't have a PSP, so I haven't played it, but I heard it was alright. It was called Third Birthday, and maybe someday I'll get a chance to try that one out. But for now, that was Parasite Eve 2. We only have a few more reviews left in the horror game marathon, so be watching. Well, watch it out for the rest of the marathon. It's going to be coming out relatively soon. And for the last 4 games, I have something very special lined up for those. So that will be that'll be fun. That'll be really fun. So, well, this is Alex signing off, and have a great night, everybody. Goodbye.